Good evening. We'll begin this meeting of the Clovis City Commission. Adhering to the limitations on gathering, we are conducting this meeting via video conference. However, the public is encouraged to participate. You will simply need to call in any questions or comments that you have, and the number that you can call into is 575-763-9200. Also, please note that the City Commission meeting is being streamed on Suddenlink Channel 10. It's also being streamed on the city website, cityofclovis.org, as well as the city's Facebook page. We'll begin tonight's meeting with a prayer, and then we will go into the pledge of the United States flag, followed by the salute to the New Mexico flag. If you would, please pray with me. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity that we have to serve our city in this way, and we pray that you would bless our meeting and that you would guide our discussion and lead us to do well and be good stewards of the resources of the city of Clovis. We praise you, and God, we ask your watch, care, and protection over our community as we continue to face COVID-19. We pray for the health and welfare of our citizens, as well as everyone across the state and nation and even around the world. We pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute
the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship across united cultures. Our meeting is called to order. Will the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Levitt?
Commissioner Levitt here.
Commissioner Madrid?
Commissioner Madrid here.
Commissioner Casals?
Commissioner Casals here.
Commissioner Elliott?
Commissioner Elliott here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant?
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant here.
Commissioner Garza?
Commissioner Garza here.
Commissioner Render?
Commissioner Render here.
Commissioner Rowley?
Commissioner Rowley here.
And Mayor Morris.
Mayor Morris here. Thank you. First item to take care of is the approval of the agenda. You've all had the opportunity to take a look at the agenda. I have made note that we need to do some rearrangements and would recommend that we move number one under new business, the approval to appoint one citizen member to serve on the Lodgers Tax Advisory Board. I would recommend that we move that to the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Commissioner.
Just to inform the public as to why we're doing that.
Yes. We did have two citizens who had applied for that position on the Lodgers Tax Advisory Board, but since the agenda was printed, one of those citizens has removed their name from consideration.
And Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, the person who removed their name is Bill Bargeman, and so Gail Tarson would be the person to be appointed. I've called her this afternoon, and she is still willing to serve if that is your pleasure.
Thank you.
Great.
I move for approval of.
And there is another.
Oh, yes. One other recommendation would be to remove from the consent agenda and move to new business the consent agenda item number 3, which is a request for approval of lease agreement between the City of Clovis and New Mexico Department for NMED Petroleum Storage Tank Bureau for water rights for corrective action at the former Y Station state lead site. We don't have a lease agreement to approve there. Instead, we're going to approve a plan Therefore, I recommend we pull that out and put it under new business as item 1 under new business.
I move for approval of the agenda with those changes.
Second.
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call roll? Excuse me, the motion was made by Commissioner Garza, and the second came from Mayor Pro Tem Bryant. Will the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Madrid,
Yes.
Commissioner Casals,
Yes.
Commissioner Elliott,
Commissioner Elliott, yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant,
Yes.
Commissioner Garza,
Commissioner Garza, yes.
Commissioner Rowley,
Commissioner Rowley, yes.
Commissioner Render,
Commissioner Render, yes.
and Commissioner Levitt.
Commissioner Lovett, yes.
By a 8-0 vote, the motion carries and we have approved our agenda. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the previous 2 meetings. We'll first deal with the minutes from the Thursday, April 16th, 2020 meeting. Those minutes are in your packet and you should have had a chance to review those. Do we have any corrections to those minutes?
Commissioner Casals, a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve from Commissioner
Commissioner
Casals.
Lovett, second.
And we have a second from Commissioner Levitt. Would the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Casals,
Commissioner Casals, yes.
Commissioner Elliott, Mayor Pro Tem Bryant,
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, yes.
Commissioner Garza,
Commissioner Garza, yes.
Commissioner Render,
Commissioner Render, yes.
Commissioner Rowley,
Commissioner Rowley, yes.
Commissioner Levitt,
Commissioner Lovett, yes.
Commissioner Madrid,
Commissioner Madrid, yes.
Commissioner Elliott.
Unmute, Commissioner.
Commissioner Elliott, yes.
Thank you.
By a vote of 8-0, the motion carries and the minutes from the April 16th meeting are approved. Next, we're need to look at the minutes from the April 21st meeting, which was a special meeting. You've had a chance to look at those. Do I hear a motion?
I
Make a motion.
to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Madrid.
Okay, we have a motion to approve from Commissioner Madrid and a second from Commissioner Garza. Will the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Elliott,
Commissioner Elliott, yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant,
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, yes.
Commissioner Garza,
Commissioner Garza, yes.
Commissioner Render,
Commissioner Render, yes.
Commissioner Rowley,
Commissioner Rowley, yes.
Commissioner Levitt,
Commissioner Lovett, yes.
Commissioner Madrid,
Commissioner Madrid, yes.
and Commissioner Casals.
Commissioner Casals, yes.
By a vote of 8-0, the motion carries and the minutes from the April 21st meeting are approved. The next agenda item is recognition of visitors. I look forward to the time when we have visitors and we have the public attending our meetings in person. Tonight we'll move on. The next agenda item is proclamations, awards, and presentations. We have no business to deal with there, which takes us to agenda item number 5, receipts of petitions and communications. And I'm aware of one citizen on the line, and I believe it's Mr. Danny Jarawala. Mr. Jarawala, if you are on the line, please unmute, and you have the floor for petitions and communications.
Good evening, Mayor and the City Commission. My name is Danny Jariwala, who owns the 2 hotels in town, the Best Western, which was formerly a Comfort Inn, and the Super 8. Couple of weeks back, due to the same conditions, like the COVID-19 conditions, I did send letters to the state, city, county, everybody about a suggestion or recommendation for you guys to consider. I did get acknowledgement from all 3 government bodies, like city, county, and the state. acknowledging that they received my letter. My plea is pretty simple, like, for you guys to consider this is, it has become really hard for a small business owner like me, to keep my doors open and serve and provide service to the people who are in turn providing service to our local citizens, like providing them lodging, as well as the personnel who work, for example, on the railroad and the truck drivers, who are transporting and getting the means to the local people in the stores. At this time, if you do ask me, whether if it was as a business person, that would it be wise for me to keep my doors open? My answer is pretty straightforward. No, it's not. Every single day that I'm since the restrictions announced, and it's no news. What I'm sharing is no news. It's happening in any business, that are deemed essential or they're trying to open up, but at the same time, like I said, it's a decision that I have to make in order to make sure that I am an essential part of this whole process that gets the necessary means to the local stores, which in turn gets to the local citizens. I do know at the federal level there are several relief packages or loans and everything opened up. I was one of the unfortunate one who did not make it through the PPP loan, in the first round. But I did get the news in the second round that I am approved, and I'm very close on closing those loans to support. As we know, it's been close to 2 months, or at least 2 months, since the restrictions went into effect. And my business numbers are not lying. They show me every single day how my businesses have been affected. I did send another email to all the city commissioners a couple of days back, which was an analysis done by AHLA, American Hotel Lodging Association, which shows that PPP is really not enough to the fixed expense of keeping a business open. PPP loan, if approved also, it covers only 43% of, and I'm talking only about the hotel industry. It only covers 43% of the fixed cost. And there is a whole bunch of other 57% on the table that we are trying to make do or expecting somebody else to assist us, So the federal government assistance is in no question, with my plea. What I have been doing from last 6 weeks, as I'll share my experience and my efforts towards my business, so just so that they don't go belly up. I have reached out to my financial partners who I have mortgages with, and they have worked with me, in assisting us for applying deferrals to my payments, and we've worked around it, and I really appreciate them. There are several other expenses, like I said, fixed expenses, that utilities and everything else apart from payroll, with the including payroll too, where I had to make adjustments as well. And it's no news. I have all my employees still working for me. The only department where I have to make an adjustment and ask for sacrifice is my housekeeping department, because that completely depends on my occupancy, as you know, and that we are not that running on a high occupancy. With the restrictions, as well as as well as people not travel. But my employees, when I brought this whole thing to their attention, they are standing shoulder to shoulder with me and want to ride the storm along with me, and they are sticking around with me with how many hours I can give them, just so that the businesses can stay afloat. The two hotels can stay afloat. Asking personal sacrifice on my part. This is my 6th week that I have been working 100+ hours at my hotel. Last week and the 3 weeks in future, planning ahead, I have decided that I don't get enough rest going back to my house and coming back to work since this past week. And I can vouch, I'll show you my room where I live. I live at my property, and my wife brings me food at work. My kids, when I call them, they ask me, when am I coming home? And I don't have any answer for them. My request is pretty simple. I would like the local governing bodies who we have elected in the position that you are in to please help us. We need help. The only way I see is to announce some kind of relief in the taxes, or we can find a way around. Meet with us, meet with the local small business owners, and come to the solution. I mean, I don't know, in the 2 months that this lockdown has been announced, how many city commissioners have gone to the local businesses to see their condition. I would advise you guys should, and again, it's just a suggestion, and I want to ahead of time apologize to you guys. I have never conducted myself in this kind of meeting, and please forgive me if I'm out of line. I just ask for your forgiveness. I'm just a small business owner, and everything that I'm saying is coming from my heart. Again, and anything that I'm gonna say is what I hear and what I see, So please do not hold me against that, hey, you have wrong information. If I'm wrong, please correct me, I'll tell you something, is that I've heard that, the benefit that people are getting for not making it to work or something like that is a little extra to what people who are honestly trying to make a living. And I personally feel that that's a slap on their face who's trying to make their money, like the right way. And they're doing everything in their power, and I'm proud of my team that is working for me at the hotel, Again, I would suggest, and I do understand that quickly all 3 agencies, city, state, county, everybody was quick enough to get me the letter showing from their city attorney or giving me the answer that, oh, it's not in the books, it's not the law, it's not that. When I have one question, when these laws were written, everybody agrees that this is the unprecedented situations that we are in and we are seeing, When these laws were written, or when these things were put together, they had never considered that was going to happen. So I would suggest, being the leader and the voice of the community, you go out there and bat for us and ask for the changes. This situation is unique. So I would request each and every governing body, I only know, and like I said, is my voice can only reach up to the city commissioners or the county commissioners. Go out there, bat for us, and do the amendments or changes to the law that, hey, we are trying to help our constituents and the small businesses in our community, that okay, we would like to do this and that. I mean, having a city attorney, and if they're gonna just show us the law book, I don't think so it's worth it to have a city attorney. I would seek that make our city money worth by asking them the solution to it, not by showing us the rule book, what's in there and what's right or what's wrong. It's all about asking them to make the changes that can help. Then the help could be immediate, Like I said, the federal help is coming and it's there, but it does take time. But like I said, you can probably think about, like, you are in a better position than I am in to think about it and come to the solutions. Probably take suggestions and maybe make decisions and get something, instead of telling people that, oh, this is law, this is right, and this is what we got to abide by, this and that. Like I said, it's not, I'm not trying to save my only business here. What I'm trying to do is to talk about all the small businesses that I think so we should look into, because if the help, and I don't have any doubt that you guys are working behind the scenes to get the help, but I just am scared that it's going to be too little too late, and I don't know if some business owners might, think other alternatives which might not be good, and we might think that it's, and we could have done something more, So that's my plea to you guys, to see what you can do as far as that goes, and think about it, please. I am available, but I would advise, and again, I'm sorry, I'm not in a position to advise you guys, but I'm sorry. It's a suggestion that please go out in your communities, please go out and go to the businesses and see what is happening, and I, like I said, is that not everybody is gonna be able to make their expenses like how I do it, or any other businesses that are being able to do it right now. Depending, and like I said it, that please go out there. As much as you worry about the local citizens and the safety of them, small businesses are the part of it too. So I would advise you guys, or again, I would suggest you guys, I'm sorry, to please go out and go to your local businesses and see how they are suffering, and probably come make the decision based on that, Again, another suggestion that I had is, myself, I've served on Larger Stacks Board Committee a couple of years back, and the Larger Stacks money is being raised by the hotels, which is in turn, Larger Stacks fund gets appropriated by the state, and it is used for the advertising, and certain other areas where the events come into town. And again, my suggestion is to look into that fund, the Larger Stacks fund, which we already know that in 2020 we are not going to get any big events or anything like that into our city. That fund is available to make the use of. I do know that end of February, the city commission passed an ordinance to use that fund for the police department or fire department and other city agencies. I did get a call from from a local reporter to ask me if we were even consulted, since the hotels were the ones that were bringing in that lodgers tax fund. And my answer to that reporter was pretty simple, and I told him, if the person is listening, he would vouch for it, that I told him the same thing, that we have our elected officials and we have our good faith in them, and they are watching out for everybody, and if they make the decision, we have to live by that. With that being said, I that was my answer to that question that was asked to me, if we were consulted. There was no reason for you guys to consult us in order to make a decision which is good for our city, you know. But now comes the time. Am I sorry? Did I pass my limit?
No, sir. Please finish the thought.
Okay. So my again, like I said, is I could be misinformed. Please, I'll be more than happy to accept any corrections. Again, I could be, like I said, I might not have full knowledge of it, but that's what that's the ordinance that was passed, as far as my knowledge goes. And I told him that you would be in the best place to make that decision. You're in a position to make that decision, which you would obviously keep in good faith, like thinking about our city. So that's the fund that we would like you guys to look into it, if we can tap into it and assist this. And I'm not talking about, since it's raised by the hotels, that only help the hotels. We want that help for all the small businesses, whatever solution you come with. But this is, again, just a suggestion that's the fund that you could look into it. And on behalf of the hotels and the businesses on Mabry Drive, I did have a suggestion or something for the city commission to look at, was to probably see if we can use some funds to make the crossing on Norris and Mabry, the BNSF crossing, as a quiet zone, because the hotel businesses on Mabry, our number one complaint is the train horns or whistles noise, you know. And if we can see if we can come up with a solution to get that crossing into a quiet zone, I would really appreciate that as well. With that, I'm ready to take my questions or any misinformation that I might have said to be corrected.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Jarawala. First, I just want to let you know that, you said a couple of times in there that, perhaps you might be out of line, or that there was even a moment when you said you weren't sure if you were conducting yourself properly. What I would say is you absolutely are, and you're not out of line. I think it's appropriate that you speak up at this time, given the struggle that you and other business owners are facing. You and all of the citizens of the city are struggling in one way or another, and your story is especially heart-wrenching. And I think you're an honorable man, and you're approaching this trial in a very admirable way. And it's hard to hear your story, but I'm glad that I've heard your story, and I think the commissioners would agree that we're proud that you're a business owner here, and that you are approaching it with such honor and providing the service in spite of the incredibly difficult situation that you're facing. And so thank you for sharing that with us. As you mentioned, we as we should, we answered your concerns and spoke to what it is we believe we have in our toolbox, or do not have in our toolbox to help you with. And but your suggestion to visit businesses is well received, and I would be happy to visit with you more. And I I just appreciate you sharing your story. I appreciate the opportunity to correspond with you, and we'll take your comments and your suggestions under advisement. Commissioners, does anyone have anything to add?
Mayor, I don't have any questions or anything, but I do appreciate Danny coming forward and expressing his concerns and letting us know, the predicament that he's in and how we could possibly help. So thank you for coming forward with that.
And Mayor, this is Commissioner Lovett, if I could add to that. Mr. Jawala, I appreciate the comments. Truly, you're in a situation, and all of us are in a situation that we've not been in ever in our lifetimes. And, I'm in a position to truly understand the hardships that are going on with the businesses. And your words do not fall on deaf ears. And I know we'll do our best to work with the state and to see what things could be changed. And I appreciate your prodding and to make sure that we're not leaving any stone unturned as we try to find solutions. So thank you for your presentation.
Do we have other comments? Hearing none, Mr. Jarawala, I want to again thank you for calling in and sharing with us, and just appreciate you very much. And as I said, we will take your comments and your suggestions under advisement. And in these unprecedented times, we are looking for every way we can to be of value and service to our community. And just please know that. And again, thank you for calling in this evening.
And thank you, Mayor and the entire City Commission, for giving me this opportunity to be on the stage to express my views. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Good evening.
Good evening.
Commissioners, moving on in the agenda, the next agenda item is the consent agenda. This item is placed on the agenda so that the commission, by unanimous consent, can designate those routine agenda items they wish to be approved or acknowledged by one motion. If any proposal does not meet with the approval of all commission members, or if a citizen so requests, that item will be heard when reached under the regular agenda. I'll now read the consent agenda items. Item number 2 is request for approval of Airport Use Agreement for Denver Air Connections, DBA Key Lime Air. The number 3 consent agenda item is request for approval to appoint one citizen member to serve on the Lodgers Tax Advisory Board. Number 4 is request for approval of ITB 19-0503-04 12-inch sanitary sewer trunk line extension change order. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Garza
Commissioner Raleigh, I second that.
and a second by Commissioner Rowley. Will the clerk please call roll?
Mayor,
Ma'am.
we needed to place the indicated items on the consent agenda by unanimous vote. There need to be a vote for that first, please. And then for approval to acknowledge on items.
Thank you. Thank you for that point of order, Ms. Burrows. The motion we're looking for is to place the items on the consent agenda.
And that was a motion by me, Commissioner Garza.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Garza.
Commissioner Raleigh, I'll second that.
And we had the second by Commissioner Rowley. Thank you. Will the clerk please call roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant,
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, yes.
Commissioner Garza,
Commissioner Garza, yes.
Commissioner Render, Commissioner Rowley,
Commissioner Raleigh, yes.
Commissioner Lovett,
Commissioner Lovett, yes.
Commissioner Madrid,
Commissioner Madrid, yes.
Commissioner Casals,
Commissioner Casals, yes.
Commissioner Elliott,
Commissioner Elliott, yes.
Commissioner Render.
Commissioner Render, yes. Somebody turned off my microphone.
By a vote of 8-0, the motion carries and the items are placed on the consent agenda. I'll ask, are there any questions or comments before we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, I'll make a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda.
Thank you. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Bryant,
I second that.
and we have a second from Commissioner Garza. Will the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Garza,
Yes.
Commissioner Render,
Commissioner Render, yes.
Commissioner Rowley,
Commissioner Rowley, yes.
Commissioner Levitt,
Commissioner Levitt, yes.
Commissioner Madrid,
Commissioner Madrid, yes.
Commissioner Casals,
Commissioner Casals, yes.
Commissioner Elliott,
Commissioner Elliott, yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Bryant.
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, yes.
By a vote of 8-0, the motion carries. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is introduction and adoption of resolutions and ordinances. We have no business to deal with there tonight, and then we have no unfinished business. So that brings us to new business. And the first item under new business is request for approval of lease agreement between the City of Clovis and New Mexico Environment Department for NMED Petroleum Storage Tank Bureau for water rights for corrective action at the former Y Station State Lead Site. Mr. Howalt, can you advise?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. As you're all well aware, Daniel B. Stevens and Associates has been contracted by the Petroleum Storage Tank Bureau to work on a remediation plan for the corrective action at the former Y Station at the corner of 21st Street and Commerce Way. As part of that remediation plan, they are clearly going to have to pump the groundwater and treat it. As part of those pumping efforts, they're going to need water rights in order to pump the groundwater. So what Daniel B. Stevens and Associates is asking to do is to use 50 acre feet per year of the city's water rights that we have available to us. In total, the city has roughly 14,000 acre feet with all the properties that we own around town. To pay for those water rights, what they're offering to do is pay for our industrial charges, essentially, which would generate around $18,000 a year as in exchange for the use of those water rights. What we're trying to put in front of you this evening is a plan for developing a lease agreement. Daniel B. Stevens and Associates would still have to fill out all the necessary paperwork to allow for them to utilize and move the water rights from one location to this particular location in town. And once the Office of the State Engineer is approved off on that, then we would be able to put together and finalize the lease agreement that would be brought to you at a future date. They're anticipating needing to use these water rights for approximately 10 years, and that's how long the lease agreement would be put into place for. But once again, they're wanting to make sure that the City of Clovis is comfortable with moving forward with this process and going about it through this manner before getting too far in their proposed final remediation plan. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding this matter.
Thank you for that, Mr. Howalt. And Commissioners, as I read that agenda item off, I misspoke and said we're looking for the approval of a lease, but we're actually looking for the approval of a plan. I'll check with each of you to see if you have questions, beginning with Commissioner Casals. Commissioner Casals, do you have questions or comments about this?
Unmute, Commissioner Casals.
I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute.
That's quite all.
Madrid? No, I have no questions.
Quite all right. Thank you, Commissioner. Next, Commissioner Lovett.
And again, it's spelled out. It doesn't appear that there's any expense to the city on this. and we know that this needs to be remediated. So other than that, I don't have any other questions.
Great, thank you. Next, Commissioner Garza, do you have questions or comments?
No, I concur with Commissioner Lovett. I think it needs to be done. It's way overdue. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Next, Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, do you have questions or comments?
No questions. Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, I agree. I think we have to move forward with this and it has to be done.
Great, thank you, sir. Commissioner Rowley, do you have questions or comments on this item?
No, I don't have any comments or questions.
Thank you. Next, Commissioner Elliott, questions or comments, please?
I think it's got to be done, and with water as precious as it is around here, we've got to, just get it improved and get that petroleum or gasoline, whatever it is, out of it. So I think it's a plan that we got to follow up on. So we need to do it.
Okay, thank you for that. Commissioner Render, questions or comments?
Commissioner Render, no questions. Concur with my colleagues.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, Commissioner Madrid, do you have questions or comments?
No questions. I agree with the rest of the commission.
Okay, great. Do we have a motion then?
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, I will make a motion to allow Daniel B. Stevens and Associates to go ahead and put together a lease agreement.
I second that.
Okay, so we have a motion made by Mayor Pro Tem, and I think the second came from Commissioner Madrid. Would the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Render,
Aye.
Commissioner Rowley,
Commissioner Rowley, yes.
Commissioner Lovett,
Commissioner Lovett, yes.
Commissioner Madrid,
Commissioner Madrid, yes.
Commissioner Casals,
Commissioner Casals, yes.
Commissioner Elliott,
Commissioner Elliott, yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant,
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, yes.
and Commissioner Garza.
Commissioner Garza, yes.
By a vote of 8-0, the motion carries. Thank you. The next item under new business tonight is request for approval of commissioners on committees. Commissioners, you have had the opportunity to review this. We'll begin. If you in your packet on page 52 is the spreadsheet showing each of the committees. And we'll just begin at the top there and talk first about the Animal Control Task Force. And previously, previous City Commissioner Taylor Sawyer served on this. Would one of our District 2 commissioners like to serve in that place?
Commissioner Rowley, I can take that. I can serve in that spot.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Rowley. So we'll have you in that spot. Commissioner Casals, are you pleased to continue serving on the Animal Task Force?
Yes, I think we only met maybe once in the 4 years I've been in, but yeah, I'll continue.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And Commissioner Garza, are you happy to continue on the task force?
I'll be happy to continue working on that.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, you currently serve. Are you happy to continue serving there?
I am. I'm fine with that.
Okay, great. And I will take the position previously held by the previous mayor, Mayor Lansford. So I will serve on that task force as well. Next is the Charter Review Committee, and we do not need to take action there. The Civic Center Policy Committee. Commissioner Casals, you currently serve there. Are you pleased to continue serving on that committee?
Yes, I will continue.
Okay, thank you. Next is the Civil Aviation Board, and Commissioner Render, you currently serve there. Are you pleased to continue?
I will be willing to continue, yes. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Next is the Economic Incentive Board, but actually, Ms. Burrows, can you give us background on Economic Incentive Board? Do we need to appoint commissioners?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, you do not need to appoint anyone. The only member of city staff that serves on that is the city manager, and he is the chair. The commission does not sit on the Economic Incentive Board. Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification and that help, Ms. Burrows. Appreciate that very much. The Economic Incentive Board, IRB subcommittee, however, there was a position on that board held by previous Commissioner Sandra Taylor Sawyer. Would one of our District 2 commissioners want to take that spot?
And Mayor Pro Tem Commissioners, it could actually be anyone on the commission, not necessarily District 2.
Thank you for that clarification. Thank you very much. Do we have any commissioner
Commissioner
interested?
Casals, I will take that one.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Casals. And I will serve on that subcommittee as well. Next, we'll look at the Finance Committee. And correct me if I'm wrong, we need representation from each district on the Finance Committee.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, per the ordinance, the Mayor Pro Tem and the Mayor must serve on that committee, and then 2 other commissioners.
Perfect. So Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, you and I are going to serve there. Commissioner Elliott, you currently serve on the Finance Committee. Are you happy to continue there?
I can continue on 2 other committees, and if Commissioner Rowley wants to serve on that, I would be glad to let her take that if she would like to.
Okay.
And Mayor, this is Commissioner Lovett. I would also be happy to serve on that committee if needed.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Commissioner Lovett.
This is Commissioner Rowley. Commissioner Lovett can take that spot of previous Commissioner Sandra Taylor Sawyer.
Okay, so just to be clear, we're not needing to replace a previous commissioner here. The question is, do we have two commissioners that would like to serve in addition to Mayor Pro Tem and myself? So with...
Well, I'm on that commission.
Correct.
Here.
Okay.
Here, I'm on that.
Okay, bail me out, Ms. Burrows.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. So if you are happy to serve, and so does Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, Commissioner Madrid is already serving, and Commissioner Lovett has expressed an interest in doing so, and that would be sufficient to meet the needs of this committee.
Okay.
Right, and since nobody's asking Commissioner Garza, since I was sitting on that board, I'd be happy to just relinquish that spot and not be part of it.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Garza. And Commissioner Elliott would be relinquishing his position on that committee as well. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for bearing with me, commissioners. We'll next look at the Insurance Committee. And Commissioner Render, you currently serve there. Are you happy to continue serving there?
I'm not. The next on mine is the local emergency planning committee.
Okay. The worksheet, the spreadsheet that I'm working from has the Insurance Committee next, and it does include the local emergency.
Yeah, I'm on that. And when I got this grid, Ms. Burrows did not tell me that I could deny being on one, that I had to go ahead. No, I'll go ahead and take that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Commissioner. Next, we have the Clovis Carver Library Board, and Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, you currently serve there. Are you happy to continue serving?
I am. I'm fine with that.
Thank you very much. Next is the Lodgers Tax Advisory Board, and Commissioner Garza, you currently serve there. Are you happy to continue doing so?
I'll be happy to do so, sir.
Thank you very much. Local Emergency Planning Committee, Commissioner Render, you are currently serving there. Do you wish to continue?
I'll take that.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Render, I'm gonna come to you for the next one as well, the Senior Services Committee. Are you happy to continue there?
By virtue of my tender age, I'll go ahead and keep that.
I wasn't gonna say anything. All right. Next, we're gonna talk about the Parks, Recreation, and Beautification Committee. And Ms. Burrows, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're looking for a commissioner from each district to serve on this committee.
That's correct. Thank you, Mayor.
Wonderful. And we have Commissioner Render currently serving there. Do you wish to continue?
I'll take it.
Okay. Commissioner Elliott, you're currently serving on this committee. Would you wish to continue?
Yes, I would wish to continue.
All right. Commissioner Madrid, do you wish to continue serving on the Parks, Recreation, and Beautification?
Continue.
Okay, great. And lastly, on this one, Commissioner Garza, are you pleased to continue serving?
I will, unless Commissioner Lovett would like to be part of that.
Commissioner Lovett?
I would be willing. I know you're on quite a few committees. If you want to relinquish that, I would take your place.
Okay. I'm okay with that then. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, let it be so. We'll have Commissioner Lovett serving on the Parks, Recreation, and Beautification Committee as well. Next, we are looking at Planning and Zoning. And Commissioner Garza, you're currently serving there. Would you like to continue?
I would love to continue.
Love to continue. That's great. Thank you. Public Works Board. And Ms. Burrows, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're looking for a commissioner from each district to serve on the Public Works Board.
That's correct. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Elliott, you're currently serving there. Do you wish to continue?
I'd wish to continue to serve on the Public Works Board.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, you currently serve on Public Works. Do you wish to continue?
Yes, for sure.
Thank you. And Commissioner Madrid, you currently serve there. Do you wish to continue?
Yes, I wish to continue.
I believe then we are looking for one of our District 1 commissioners to join this committee. Public Works Committee.
I'm willing to serve. Commissioner Garza, what is your pleasure?
That's fine with me. If you're willing, I'm okay with that, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Very well. We'll have Commissioner Lovett serve on the Public Works Board from District 1. Thank you. Next is the Revenue Review Committee. We will deal with that at a later date. We'll need to begin work on that this summer, I believe. The Water Policy Advisory Committee, and we are looking for a commissioner from each district on this Water Policy Advisory Committee, and we had previous Commissioner Sandra Taylor Sawyer serving. Which District 2 commissioner will serve here?
Commissioner Raleigh, I can take that.
Thank you, Commissioner Raleigh. Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, you currently serve. Do you wish to continue?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Commissioner Madrid, you currently serve here. Do you wish to continue?
Yes, I wish to continue.
Thank you, sir. And which of the District 1 commissioners would like to serve on Water Policy Advisory Committee?
What is your pleasure, Commissioner Garza?
Well, the question will be for the mayor. He was representing District 1, although you're not from District 1, so I don't know if you want to be part of that or if he's even allowed to do that. I don't know. I need to ask.
So just
Mayor, the only reason the mayor took that particular position at that time was we were talking so much about the water situation and the water authority. And so he went ahead and took that position for that reason at that time. Normally, the mayor doesn't sit on that committee.
Okay. All right, then I will ask Commissioner Lovett if he would like to do that.
I'm okay serving.
Okay, I'm okay with that then. Thank you.
All right, then we'll have Commissioner Levitt serving on Water Policy Advisory Committee from District 1. Thank you. All right, the next section on the spreadsheet there is the Chamber of Commerce committees and the Chamber of Commerce Board. Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, you currently serve there in this ex officio position. Are you pleased to continue?
I would, but I know Commissioner Levitt has expressed interest in that. At the times they meet, it's sometimes a little difficult for me to make that meeting. So I would be willing for Commissioner Levitt to go ahead and take that position.
Okay.
If he's willing.
And Mayor, I already serve on the chamber board, so I'll be happy to represent the city as well.
Okay, and not to bog down this discussion, but you thought through, would you need to abstain from voting, or would you be a voting member?
No, you don't vote on the commission.
Okay,
Right, those are,
gotcha.
yeah, good point. I'll have to abstain from anything related to the city. Absolutely. And I guess we should ask, is there anyone else who would like to serve on that? I know that Commissioner or Mayor Pro Tem Elliott and I had discussed that, but is there anyone else who would like to serve?
Okay, great question. Commissioners?
Mayor, I am usually there volunteering, so I can be the second in line after Levitt if he wants.
Well, and Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, as this is an ex officio capacity for the city of Clovis, it is a non-voting
Okay, that's
position.
right.
And so if Commissioner Lovett is on there in a voting capacity as a board member, then that could be it would be easier if it probably was somebody else. If that makes sense.
Thank you for bringing that up. That's what I meant, or that's what I was trying to get at, and I didn't articulate it very well. But Commissioner Levitt, since you're a voting member of that board now, we're talking about an ex officio position that the city has on that board. Sure. So let's do that. Let's look. Are there other commissioners that would be interested in this? Commissioner Casals, you expressed interest.
Yes, I will take it.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Casals will serve there in that position in that case. The next is the Committee of 50, and I will serve there. And then we're next looking at the Clovis Curry Chamber Railroad Committee, and we're looking for correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Burrows, we're looking for a commissioner from each district, correct?
That's correct, sir.
Great, thank you. And previously, Sandra Taylor Sawyer held the spot on this committee representing District 2. Commissioner Elliott or Commissioner Rowley, which of you would take that spot?
Commissioner Rowley, I can take that spot.
Thank you, Commissioner Rowley. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Commissioner Rowley. I appreciate it.
Mayor Pro Tem, you currently serve on this committee. Are you happy to continue?
I am.
Thank you. And Commissioner Casals, you currently serve on that committee. Are you pleased to continue there?
Yes.
Okay. Then we need a district.
Mayor,
Yes.
wonder if Helen Casals would mind trading the financials for the railroad,
No.
since she's already on the chamber board, so she's always there.
Okay.
Somebody else needs to be on there.
I still go to the railroad meeting. You can take it, but I will be there also.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll trade the financial.
No, I don't want the financial. You keep it.
Okay, commissioners, what have we done here? Commissioner Madrid, are you serving on the railroad committee?
Yes.
Okay.
Mayor, we can't have 5 people there. We'll have a quorum.
Commissioner Casals currently serves on that committee, and you need just 4 people to be there. Otherwise, you'll have a quorum, and the chamber will be obliged to follow the open meetings for that.
Thank you for that clarification. In that knowledge, Commissioner Casals and Commissioner Madrid, would you like to reverse that decision or Commissioner Casals, would you stop attending that committee?
No, I will keep,
Okay.
I will
You're-
keep it.
You're going to keep it. Very good. Very good. Okay. Thank you for working through that. We are still looking for one of the District 1 commissioners to claim a spot on this railroad committee of the chamber.
I know my predecessor, Commissioner Robinson, was on this committee. I don't mind serving if, unless Commissioner Garza would like it.
Commissioner Garza?
Commissioner Lovett, I would love for you to be there. Thank you.
Very good. We have that filled. So we'll move on to the Eastern New Mexico Water Utility Authority. And as you look across there, we see that Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, you currently serve there. Are you pleased to continue serving?
Yes, I am.
Very good. Commissioner Garza, you're currently serving there. Are you pleased with that?
I am. I would love to continue. Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Thank you for that. The next is the Ute Water Commission, and I will take that position which the previous mayor held. And then we move on down to the,
Mayor,
ma'am,
for the Water Commission, and you do need an alternate.
thank you for this. Commissioners, we need an alternate, and Commissioner Garza, you're currently that alternate. Are you, and I'm sorry I skipped over that, but are you pleased to continue serving as the alternate on the Ute Water Commission?
I'm okay with that. I actually have never had to be an alternate for that, but I'll be open if anybody else wants to do that.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Okay.
Not everybody at once.
Commissioner Garza will serve as the alternate there, and I'll see what I can do about keeping the streak up. How's that?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Moving on to Eastern Area Workforce Development Board. Commissioner Casals, you're currently serving there. Are you happy to continue doing so?
Yes, never have attended a meeting. They've never had a meeting, but yeah, I'll still be on there.
All right. Thank you for that. The next is Eastern Plains Council of Governments. Commissioner Madrid, you serve there. You're the chair there, are you not?
Yes,
And you're happy to continue doing that?
yes.
Okay, we need an alternate for that board. Previous Commissioner Sandra Taylor Sawyer was alternate there. Would any of you commissioners serve as the alternate for Eastern Plains Council of Governments?
I will serve as the alternate.
Thank you,
Commissioner Casals.
Thank you, Commissioner Casals. You'll be the alternate. Appreciate that. Next, we'll look at the Plains Regional Medical Center Hospital Board. Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, you currently serve there. Do you wish to continue serving?
Yes, I'd like to keep that.
Very well. And then we have the Main Street ex officio position. Currently, Commissioner Casals, you hold that. Would you want to continue there?
Yes.
Very good. I believe that is every spot that we needed to look at. Again, this is a request for approval of commissioners on committees. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Garza
Second?
and a second from Commissioner Lovett. Will the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Rowley,
Commissioner Rowley, yes.
Commissioner Levitt,
Commissioner Lovett, yes.
Commissioner Madrid,
Commissioner Madrid, yes.
Commissioner Casals,
Commissioner Casals, yes.
Commissioner Elliott,
Commissioner Elliott, yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant,
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, yes.
Commissioner Garza,
Commissioner Garza, yes.
and Commissioner Render.
Commissioner Render, yes.
By a vote of 8-0, the motion carries. Thank you. Next agenda item is reports of boards, officers, and committees. First item there tonight is the Civic Center update by Mrs. Bertrand. Mrs. Bertrand, if you're on the line, please unmute and you have the floor. Do we have Ms. Bertrand on the line? Mrs. Bertrand, to unmute, it's *6. Tell you what, we'll come back to Ms. Bertrand. Mr. Howalt, if I could, can I call on you to speak to how the city's finances are looking as far as you can tell?
Obviously, we don't have our gross receipts tax report for March yet. We should be getting that approximately on the 15th of this month. We have been monitoring our lodger's tax, and on the fiscal year so far, we're down approximately $118,000 on the lodger's tax. From January through the April reporting, we're down approximately $26,000. That report lags approximately a month behind instead of 2 months behind like our gross receipts taxes. But we continue to monitor, and as soon as we get those reports in on the 15th, we will definitely be advising. And then Ms. Melanson and I are going to start trying to see if we can make a prediction based off of when the closures took effect versus what, say, our retailers were generating in past years over that same time period, so we can try to project forward. Obviously, we're starting to get into our budget time of year. We will be submitting our final budget from last year as our preliminary budget. And we are going to work on holding off as long as we possibly can to complete the final budget until we start knowing some real numbers coming in for the March and for the April time frame. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't give you some hard numbers right now, but based off of lodger's tax, obviously, on the fiscal year being low, from the calendar year being low, we can all anticipate that our gross receipts taxes will also be showing the impact of the closures. Hopefully, this next meeting, I'll have definitely some more information on you as we get those gross receipts tax reported to us from the Tax and Rev Department.
Great, thank you for that, Mr. Howalt. Commissioners, are there any questions for Mr. Howalt?
Mayor, if I could ask Mr. Howalt a question on the,
Yes.
did you get any information on the Water Trust Board meeting that was held today?
Unfortunately, I did not. I emailed Ms. Quintana with the New Mexico Finance Authority, and I did not hear back from her today. For your the other commissioners and mayors information, the Water Trust Board was holding their meeting today for the approval of the 2020 projects. Our phase 2 of our reuse project was one of the ones that came out of the legislative session through our application. And so we are just waiting for a response. And the agenda didn't spell out each one of the individual projects. It just had the agenda item was for the approval of all the ones that had applied. So I'm not sure where we are on the amounts. And as soon as I hear something from Ms. Quintana, I will certainly reach back out to you and let each one of you know.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Howalt? Great. We will move back to the Civic Center update.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening, Mrs. Bertrand. The floor is yours for your report.
Thank you, Mayor Morris. Good evening, Mayor Mike Morris, Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, commissioners, colleagues, and friends. Thank you for your time. I have a 5-minute report, and then I'll remain on the line for any questions. The governor of New Mexico issued public health orders banning mass gatherings from March 15th originally through April 30th, but extended to May 15th. The Clovis Civic Center facility has been closed to the public since March 18th. We hosted 5 events in the month of March prior to the state closures. For the preparation phases of the New Mexico reopening plan preview, I do not anticipate that the Clovis Civic Center will reopen within this fiscal year. I truly hope I am wrong, but we have been nothing but cautious while responding to COVID-19. Phase 3 of the plan is estimated to start in early July, and mass gatherings larger than 100 people will still be prohibited. I am certain that our state government will create more specific criteria for facilities like our Civic Center, so we will have more clear directives in the coming week. In response to the complete loss of event revenue since March 18th, we immediately created and enacted a cost mitigation plan and were able to decrease budgeted expenses in March by over $17,000. We will also have less expenses in the first quarter of fiscal year 21 due to the holds placed on service accounts, no event expenses, and because 3 of our 6 managers and all of our event-based part-time employees have been placed on temporary furlough. With our current projections, we are still poised to come in under budget for fiscal year 20, as it was shaping up to be one of our best years prior to the facility closure. We are working with Spectre Venue Management and our city manager to create accurate projections for the last quarter of the fiscal year. To date, we have hosted 210 events at the facility, generating over $250,000 in event revenue. We had 34 events on the books between March 13th and May 15th, and will lose over $75,000 in event revenue. We also currently have 23 events on the books between May 16th and June 30th and stand to lose another $22,000 in event revenue if we are not able to reopen this fiscal year. Many of our large canceled events have rescheduled into fiscal year 21, and we are confident that we will have a busy year of bookings after the dust settles and it is again safe for our friends to gather. The Clovis Civic Center is focused on improving the quality of life in Clovis by providing a multi-purpose venue where anything fun can happen, from small intimate weddings to highly anticipated and well-attended arts and crafts shows. Our current efforts to develop sponsorship opportunities have been placed on hold, but we will work harder in fiscal year 21 to finalize agreements. Coupled with our drive to foster partnerships, especially with the Clovis-Curry County Chamber of Commerce and the City of Clovis Lodgers Tax Board, the members of your Spectre team will continue to maintain the building and provide a superior and memorable experience for all guests. Per the initial project timeline for the replacement of components to our HVAC system, on-site installation was set to begin next week. However, due to delays in ordering and shipping of parts, our on-site installation is now tentatively scheduled to begin in June. We also replaced a 100-gallon hot water heater for the kitchen this year. In the past month, we partnered with the Clovis-Curry County Chamber of Commerce and hosted our Spring Arts and Crafts Show and Women's Expo virtually on Facebook. We coordinated the efforts of our exhibitors who provided live videos from their homes that were scheduled into a virtual event. Many of our craft exhibitors sold out of their products and made contact with new clients. Our Women's Expo featured 37 local business owners or entrepreneurs who each went live in the event. We started the day with Tai Chi and other fitness classes and had a power tool demo, self-improvement seminars, other events, and ended with a virtual dance party. Additionally, we have created an online support group where Facebook users can share humorous and inspirational memes and videos, participate in games and challenges, and stay connected as we all stay safe at home. The Clovis Civic Center team also provides weekly interactive live videos featuring trivia, bingo, and happy hours within the group. Our next virtual event will be a Red Nose Days fundraiser to support the COVID-19 Recovery Fund set up by the United Way of Eastern New Mexico to benefit local folks in need in our community. Life is always better at the Clovis Civic Center when the facility is full of people. We stand here with you, ready to continue to be a hub of community activity. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners, and citizens of Clovis, thank you for your time this evening. I'll stand for any questions or clarification at this time.
Thank you for that, Ms. Bertrand. I hate hearing about the canceled events and certainly the furloughs and the layoffs, but thank you for what you do, and thank you for making the most of a difficult situation. And any questions from the commissioners or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Bertrand, thank you very much for your report. Thank you for what you do and for joining our meeting tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
While we're still in reports of boards, officers, and committees, I thought I would take the opportunity to report briefly to you, commissioners, as to my experience on the Mayor's Council, or excuse me, the Governor's Mayor's Council, which I was appointed to recently to advocate for our community on that board, along with 15 other mayors from around the state. And I thought I would, just briefly share and then stand for any questions that you may have for me about that. The first meeting was very much about mayors providing input about the impacts in their communities and ideas that they had and so forth. I, from the very beginning, asserted that we were ready as a community to safely be at what the governor's reopen plan calls phase 1, and asked to be moved to there. The governor and her team are up till now have not been interested in a regional approach, although I have continued to ask in the second meeting, and then in a meeting that we had today, I asked again, and they said that it is not completely off of the table. However, I do have, and I did a public announcement on the city's Facebook page and kind of introduced the plan. While it's not quick enough for certainly the folks like the business owner that we heard from this evening in the meeting, and for much of the rest of our community, we feel like we could safely begin reopening. And so this isn't exactly what we wanted to hear. And I've been disappointed that I wasn't able to argue for a better situation for us. However, I did a public announcement, which is on the city's Facebook page, outlining the reopen plan, the phases of that plan, and then what's called COVID safe practices for individuals as well as for employers. And those are going to be a part of the reopen plan. And I will tell you that today, the Dr. Scrace, which is advising the governor, was on the call, and his comment about whether or not we could open mid-May, May 15th or May 16th, and I say open, move on to phase 1 at that point. He said, based on all of the gating criteria, and the only one lagging is the rate of transmission, but he used the phrase, it's a coin flip at this point. So let's keep positive, and let's hope that we get to move to phase 1 very, very soon, on or around May 15th. Commissioners, any questions for me that I could try and answer?
Mayor, this is Mayor Pro Tem Bryant. No questions, but I just want to let you know how much we appreciate you being involved with that task force and representing the city of Clovis on this side of the state. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad to do it.
Stay positive. Thank you.
You're welcome, and I will.
Mayor, this is Commissioner Elliott. Are the other mayors kind of on the same page you are on all this? The ones you're serving with?
Commissioner, the mayor of Hobbs is on the council, and he and I are the only two that have been very vocal and advocated strongly for an earlier reopening than the plan calls for.
Well, I appreciate you
yes, sir,
going to bat for us. I really do, because I know there's so many people here that are hurting so bad, and there's so many of them that probably will not survive this. And so it's a sad situation, but I think we should be able to do a little bit more business than we're able to do with the restrictions. So, but thank you so much for going to bat for us. We appreciate you.
You're very welcome. Glad to do it. If there aren't any other comments, we will move on to, yes?
I don't have a comment on your committee or anything. Thank you for serving.
Oh, yes, sir.
but I was wanting to ask a question on the commissioner serving on the committees. They brought up the deal about 4 people being at that railroad commission meeting.
Okay.
I was looking at that number 1. Who took over Sandra Taylor Sawyer's position there on that number 1 on animal control?
Animal control. That was, correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner Rowley.
Okay, then you have Bryant, then you have Casals, then you have Garza, then you have yourself on there. That's 5 people.
Yes, and Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, Commissioner Madrid, if I may, that is the Animal Control Task Force is a group that is put together by the City of Clovis, and it adheres to the rules of the Open Meeting Act, as do all your committees. Chamber of Commerce is not required to do so. And if you have 5 commissioners attending that, the City of Clovis is obliged to let the news media know, and that may change what the Railroad Committee can discuss. Thank you.
Okay, so you have the media there at that meeting all the time?
At the BNSF meeting, sir?
No, not at the BNSF meeting, but at the animal control.
Yes, if they would like to attend, they may. We send out agendas and minutes and everything to the news media, as we do for all your other committees that the City Commission has.
Okay, so we should be able to have 5 at the parks and all that stuff, because the media attends that too.
Yeah, and Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, the reason that there are 4 on the others, if you had 5, then you'd have 5 commissioners voting the whole time. And the Animal Control Task Force is an ad hoc group of people that is not an actually ordinanced board by the Clovis City Commission. It was put together to work on Title VI of the Clovis City Code, and then continued on to work on euthanasia and other issues for adoptions and so on, spay and neutering program for the City of Clovis, make recommendations to the Commission regarding that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that for your question, Commissioner, and for that explanation, Ms. Burrows. Appreciate that very much. We'll now look at the next agenda item, which is future agenda items. I'll go to each commissioner and ask if you have a future agenda item that you would like to push forward. We'll start with Commissioner Garza.
Nothing here. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Bryant. Mayor Pro Tem, do you have a future agenda item?
Sorry, my microphone was off. Future agenda items.
Okay, thank you, sir. Commissioner Rowley.
Unmute.
Commissioner Rowley, I have no future agenda items.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next, Commissioner Elliott, do you have a future agenda item you would like to push forward?
No, I have no future agenda items, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Render.
Commissioner Render, I would just like to see if we could get this meeting moved back into the meeting room at the library. I think, you know, if there's one thing that needs to open, it is public meetings, and they should be public, and everybody should be there. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Commissioner. Commissioner Madrid.
No future items, but I agree with Mr. Render, Commissioner Render.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Casals, do you have any future agenda items?
I'm thinking of one, but I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
I don't have nothing concrete.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Lovett.
Commissioner Lovett, I don't have anything at this time.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Howalt or Ms. Burrows, do you have future agenda items to discuss?
Mayor Morris, I failed to comment during the budget update. The state of New Mexico, due to their budget shortfalls that they're anticipating, have actually frozen the 2019 and 2020 capital outlay awards. What this means for the city of Clovis, if you recall, in this past legislative session, we actually received $250,000 for Hillcrest Park paving improvements, $100,000 for lighting improvements at Beecham Field, and then another $75,000 for playground improvements that were specific to the city of Clovis. Of course, some of our the food bank had received funding as well as our senior meals program for some HVAC improvements. All of those were from the 2020 awards and have been frozen at this point in time to try and address the state's budget shortfall. On the 2019 cycle, the projects that are going to be impacted are the 7th Street. We had received funding of $1 million. Approximately 800,000 had already been encumbered to do the construction of the retention pond. So that funding has not been lost. However, the remainder of that funding, which we were going to apply towards an additional FEMA study for our city, obviously now has been frozen as well. And so just wanted to bring that to your attention as the state of New Mexico works on shoring up their current budget as well as the budget that they passed this last legislative session for fiscal year 21. I suspect that we could see additional potential funding cuts from state programs as well. So just wanted to mention that. And then in regards to future agenda items, the 2010 and 2011 series bonds, will be looking at introducing an ordinance to refinance those bonds, which will be beneficial to the city of Clovis in reducing our debt service payments. Thank you, Mayor.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Howalt. Ms. Burrows or anyone else, future agenda items?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. The Lodgers Tax Advisory Board will be meeting on Tuesday of this coming week, and we'll be bringing their recommendations to you at the next meeting.
Great. Thank you for that. Wonderful. All right, moving on. The last agenda item tonight is to announce an announcement of date and time and place of city board and commission meetings. As was just mentioned, we have a Lodgers Tax Advisory Board meeting, which will be held teleconference at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, May 12th. We also have a Finance Committee meeting, which we held telecom, or we would expect at this point that it would be held telecom at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, the 20th. And then we have also a Planning and Zoning Commission teleconference at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, May 13th. And then our next City Commission meeting is scheduled for 5:15 p.m. on Thursday, May 21st. And with that, we have reached the end of the meeting and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.